Alright, so we're here in the kitchen, but today instead of making something, thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. So, yeah, because I don't really talk about myself, and you're probably curious, who the heck am I?
So we have a list of questions here for you today. So what inspired you to make this channel?
What inspired me? Food, first off. I love eating food and I love cooking food because it just brings me joy. I know it doesn't really bring a lot of people joy, but I hope that my little mess ups in the kitchen at least bring me some humor. What really inspired this channel was to share my love of cooking because not a lot of people do, and not a lot of people know how to cook, and that's why they eat out or what have you. So I wanted to give my tips on the little basic things that I know, because I know that I'm just a lowly level 2 home cook. If you watch Epicurious level 4 videos, I'm just a level 2. That's where I am, and I wanted to share that. And the other thing that really inspires me is to continue learning and tasting new flavors, because there's a lot of things that I haven't tasted, like Korean food or a lot of real Japanese food. Like you can go to a sushi bar and get different kind of sushi, but that's not real Japanese food. Like it is, but it's not the traditional stuff. So I want to broaden my senses on taste, and I want to continue learning how to edit. So Adobe is always a super fun challenge and loves to give me a trouble time, but it's a lot of fun to learn, and I love teaching myself. So teaching myself new flavors and how to cook different methods and editing, that's what really inspires me for Sweetly Savory.
So tell us about your first cooking experience.
I don't really have a first experience that I remember, but I have some vivid memories. One being that I didn't know how to do rice pilaf when I was in high school, and I made a disgusting rice pilaf soup. I didn't know that there was supposed to be a specific ratio for rice to water for the packet, and that's why I constantly stress in my videos 2 to 1 ratio, so 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice or quinoa, because this rice pilaf came out really abhorrent. And yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. And some other vivid memories I have are making mac and cheese, and it was from the Betty Crocker cookbook, which I really love. So one day I'll get to make that, the actual recipe, because I've made little variations on it. I did that with buffalo sauce and chicken, and I made it kind of like a Halloween-y kind of concoction, like a vampire blood. Came out super cool. So I love mac and cheese, and that's probably one of my favorite memories of cooking with my grandmother, was that mac and cheese.
So tell us what your favorite dish or meal to eat is. And is it also your favorite dish to prepare?
Oh, that's like super hard for me, because to eat is not for me to cook. That would be to go out. And when I go out, the rule of thumb is get something that I would not eat typically at home. So that's usually going to be eggplant, because Evan doesn't like eggplant, and that's what I like to get out. But if it's my favorite meal to prepare and eat, that's a really tough one, and it might have to be the go-to of steak with twice baked potatoes and a vegetable, preferably asparagus. Because that's the now famous meal that Evan made when he proposed to me, and I love it all the time. It's just my favorite, like, I love this meal. Yeah.
So what's your favorite snack to eat?
I love snacks. I love pickles. As you can tell from the pickle video, I just get so excited making pickles. There are so many variations on pickles now. There's pickle hummus, pickle chips, pickle popcorn. I've eaten them all, and they're just so good. I don't really know what other snacks I eat though, other than Cheetos, which is like my guilty go-to for junky food. I love me a good Cheeto puff. the puff kind. The crunch is usually what I end up buying because I can't find the puff, and I don't know why. It's really rude. So you better start carrying Cheeto Puffs, Stop and Shop.
About eating out, so I know you cook a lot, and you prefer to do that over going out, but if you had an out-of-town friend, where would you take them to eat?
There's a couple spots that we've discovered. My favorite that I've known my whole life is Shady Glen, and they have fantabulous ice cream, and there's so many different flavors and seasonal ones. My favorite has to be the peppermint. That's what I used to get as a kid, and it just brings back like happy kid memories. Other places to go that are a little bit more upscale but still burgery joints would have to be Maine Pub. They have really good burgers and fish tacos, which I tried. Because see, again, not something I'm going to make at home all the time, fish tacos. I have made shrimp tacos in the past, and those were bomb diggity. But fish tacos, not so much. Let's see. Oh, and they have really good beers on tap. And Labyrinth, they're a really fun place to go to. It's a bar, but they don't serve food there. They have food trucks, so it's always something different. And they always have different beers on tap and ciders and all that stuff, and it's a lot of fun. That's totally, all three places have a really nice, calm atmosphere, and that's what I love about going out. It's not some place that's big hustle and bustle. Some place you're going to want to go and just chillax.
So follow-up question. So imagine that your friend is visiting you, but it is a holiday where there isn't a place to take them. What dish would you cook for them?
A holiday that no place is open. Any holiday?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, the meal that I keep thinking about lately, and it's probably because we've been talking about it, is the peach bourbon pork loin, and that was from the Harry Potter cookbook. I don't remember what book it was actually mentioned in, but I really love this dish, and it reminded me how much I like whiskey sour and making hot toddies. And all of these flavors are just so warm and comforting, and it's a really good family style meal because you cut it up and you just put it in the middle of the table and everybody takes their own slab of meat, and you make sides to go with it, whatever. Oh, there was one time I made some sort of steak pie. I can't remember. Maybe that was it. It was a steak pie, and I made these cream-filled British cookies. It was one of the first things I made on my food blog. I'll have to somehow find the page and link it in the description below, because these cookies were so good, and they were even more rewarding because Steph and I, my best friend and I, had gone for a 10-mile walk, and we came back and we ate a bunch of these cookies. And it's literally like 2 cookies with like a thick layer of cream in the middle that custard cream. And it's so tasty. Those are probably the things that I would make. I clearly love British food.
So this one might be like out of left field, but can you dance?
I can dance. I've had some little dance segments where I break off in little spinny things. I can dance. I did musical theater in high school, and even though it doesn't look like I can dance with Evan, I can. I know a box step, and I know how to boogie. I like dancing in the kitchen because I feel like I can just be free and let my spirit roam wherever it's gonna go.
Pancakes or waffles?
So this is a question that's a throwback to my old job. Hi everyone at BD. So pancakes and waffles. I eat a lot of pancakes at home because they're easier to make, but my go-to for going out, if I'm gonna go big or go home for brunch, it's gotta be waffles. And that's because I like to put sprinkles in my waffles. I did that at school. I love a good waffle, and they're really hard to come by, so it's pretty infrequently I'm gonna have a waffle. But I know there's a couple people out there who agree with me. A waffle over a pancake. I know, we can see each other, yeah.
So chicken or beef?
I cook a lot of chicken. That's because it's lean and it's a lot healthier for me. But I'm gonna have to go with beef because I just love a good burger or a good steak or meatloaf. Meatloaf's so tasty. Or meat sauce, like a good bolognese, really tasty. Lasagna, like you can add vegetables to lasagna to make it a meat vegetable lasagna, but don't skimp out on the meat. Red meat is definitely one of my favorite things, and I don't eat it as much as I used to, but that's okay because that makes it an even better treat. So yeah, I guess we'll have to make some more red meat stuff. I know I cook a lot of chickpeas, and I'm sorry for all the ways that I cook chickpeas, but they are a pantry staple.
Tell us about how you keep your kitchen organized, because you always have everything ready to go, and we're a little curious about that.
So I organize my kitchen first in, first out, and that's so that I can keep everything in a moving order. I'm not going to have stuff just sitting on my pantry counter or my pantry shelf. That's how I keep those shelves organized. Everything else is just kind of by shape, I guess. I don't really know. How else did you want me to explain how I organize my pantry? Because I try to leave like open facing labels so that you can easily read things and it's not hiding, because it does exist on the shelf. Even if you can't see it, I'm looking at you this time. It does exist. Maybe that's why I don't have things labeled. I just have open containers so that you can see what's in it. And you can see how much is left. Because that's sometimes a big fault of mine, is I don't know how much is left in a covered container. So I end up buying more and I don't need it. And then I have way too much on the shelf, just like chickpeas. I thought I had 1 can left, but I had 5 cans left. So then I bought 10 and now I have 15 cans. And you know what? That's all right. We need an armada because we cook a lot of chickpeas.
So in any given video, when you give a little tutorial, when you're trying to make something, what's one takeaway that you think a viewer should take away from your video?
Maybe the way that I do something isn't always the right way or the perfect way, like a Michelin chef or somebody, but maybe it's just my method and you can take it with a grain of salt to make it your own. And if you find that dicing your onions, you can't really make a claw with your hand for one reason or another, maybe getting a finger guard or manipulating your hand another way so that you don't injure yourself, or even just the way that you're going to dice the onion, because there are a bunch of different ways to dice an onion, and videos that say this is the right way to dice an onion. It's not always for everybody, because if you're just looking at it one way, you're like, oh crap, I have to do it like this every single time. You don't have to. And just take what I do as a suggestion. It's not, this is the way that it is and has to be forever. Make it into your own so that you can enjoy what you do in the kitchen instead of it being a chore. Yeah, it's a chore. It's a chore to cook, it's a chore to clean, it's a chore to do everything else and to make the meal. But try to make it fun and make it your own. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy the meal at all, where you're sitting down and you're like, oh, thank God I can finally eat this food. Like, oh boy, I'm so happy that I made this dish. I think that's going to be the biggest takeaway, is take what I do as a grain of salt and just enjoy what I'm doing, because I enjoy it so much and I enjoy sharing it with you.
So at the end, you're trying to demystify cooking for...
Yeah.
Anything to say in closing?
Sorry my talking head was not in front of a window. That does not mean that I'm not going anywhere. It means that this is just the room, the setting that I chose, for all you Office fans who probably are watching, hopefully, I don't know. Yeah, I guess just stay tuned for lots of good food. And if you have any suggestions on flavor profiles or meals or traditional things that you have that you'd like to see come to life on your little screen that you're watching wherever I am on. Put a note in the comments down below, and I guess just stay tuned for next time.